Full answer to insulin price question is complex. Short answer is that original insulin discovered in 1921, not 1923, is inexpensive, costing as little as $25. New higher efficacy analog variants of insulin are more expensive. That's crazy. So how are they making it so cheap in every other country, man? That's wild, dude. That's wild. Has Elon Musk heard about the fact that insulin and the cost of production for insulin is so much cheaper everywhere else? And they're still being sold everywhere else for much, much cheaper prices? That's crazy. I was going to say platform. I mean, planet. Anger tweet from Drill. Having a bad one. First, my Lockheed Martin investment tanks after the CEO posts his penis. Now, Cold Stone Creamery just called me the N-word. No! We've just overthrown the government of Brazil. We apologize to those who have been served a misleading message from a fake Chiquita account. We have not overthrown a government since 1954. Wait, what? Wait, stop. Is the second one real? They did not actually. No. I mean, the facts in that tweet are real, for the record. But, like, I thought some psychotic intern at Chiquita was like, no, I'm going out with a banger. Fuck it. Oh my God. The fact that you can't even tell what's real tweets anymore, it says enough about the platform. Yeah, I mean, it's over. It's cooked. It's cooked. Everything is fake. Like, verification is imploded. Chaotic neutral timeline? No, I would say chaotic good, almost. Can't believe mainstream news won't report on this. Governor Mike DeWine, thank you for reelecting me as your governor of Ohio. My first order of business will be eradicating the people of Columbus. Whoa, that's crazy. Finally, dude. What the fuck? Columbus had it coming for far too long, dude. Holy shit. Excited for this one. Thank you, Mike. And honestly, it is basically, I mean, he's just speed running bankruptcy right now. You got the Republican Party's like messaging warfare campaign blowing up in its fucking face, with the Republicans floundering and trying to like make sense of that while looking for villains internally and like pointing the finger of blame at Donald Trump. Like, there are so many different avenues where it feels like we are, at the very least, like, you know, feeling a little good about being right.
Hi, I'm Ann Gaviola. Welcome to the Peak on Global, where we break down what is trending in the business world and what you need to know to stay ahead of the curve. Joining me now is Brett Chang from the Peak Podcast. Welcome, Brett.
Hey, Ann, great to be with you as always.
We finally get to talk about this. The Elon Musk era has only been underway for a little more than a fortnight, but there are some sweeping changes. There's lots to unpack here. Let's start with Musk wanting to move to a subscription model. Now,
oh yeah, let that sink in, bitch. Let that fucking sink in. This is what happens, dude. It's just like so painfully stupid. It's so fucking painfully stupid. He wanted the sweatiest, neck-bearded, mouth-breathing nerds to adore him. And for that, he would do everything, okay?
Now, I personally wouldn't pay for it, but I am well aware of the fact that if you're using a social media platform for free, then you are the product. What are your thoughts?
Turns out that sink wasn't just letting the sink in, it was sinking the fucking company
On this, Brett.
Well, I think the bigger picture here is that with Elon taking over Twitter, he's now doing a full diagnosis of exactly what's happening in the company. And if he looks at the business model as it currently stands, which was heavily driven by advertising revenue, he just doesn't think that's sustainable. The company, even with all that advertising revenue, was still posting losses after losses. And so he's looking for new opportunities to generate new revenue, and subscription fees are probably the best way to do that. It's taking your most passionate and active users and making a direct profit stream out of them. So that's what he's trying to do. It's not going too well. I hate to say it. And I did subscribe. I did pay for Twitter Blue myself with the promise that I would get verified, and it never actually happened. And they actually just announced today that they're going to roll back that feature entirely. So
Lame-o.
It's all in flux.
L, admitted that you're an L taker. Okay, owned. Classic.
How is it possible that you are not verified? I'm going to have someone contact you about this. Something else to kind of unpack here is, and this isn't surprising because he basically did the same thing at Tesla, but Musk reversed the work remotely forever if you want to option that his predecessors instituted at Twitter. This was back in May 2020. He also laid off about half the staff, but we'll get to that in a second. What do you think about this reversal of the work from home stance, Brett?
Well, there's a philosophical divide in the business world right now where some people think that you can keep up that intensity and stay productive by being in a fully remote culture, while others just feel like you have to all be in the same place at the same time to actually get things done. And Elon is firmly in that camp where he thinks that they're working on really tough things at Tesla and SpaceX and now at Twitter, and that everyone needs to be together, brainstorming, building off of each other's work to actually make that happen. And so forcing everyone to come back to the office, it also sounds great It sounds great. It sounds like a great idea, but in practice, it's going to be really tough to execute because there are just a lot of people now post-COVID who just don't want to do that. That's not the lifestyle that they've signed up to. And if they weren't already laid off at Twitter in that first round of layoffs that we saw last week, this actually might be the next round of it, which is people who just don't want to go into the office and are looking for other opportunities where they can continue to live a remote lifestyle.
Yeah, and so much traction during the pandemic for a hybrid model, which is in some cases the best of both worlds, or some people say you get, none of the benefits of either, depends who you ask. Let's also talk about the mass layoffs here. They are massive. I mean, they're huge. They were announced just before Meta, which is the company formerly known as Facebook, also said it was going to be slashing its global workforce by 11,000 positions. Big names in tech are laying off workers,
What surprisingly has already been lost is that he paid $44 billion for it, the largest private purchase of anything in the history of the world, and this is what he does with it. It's like buying a Lambo when you make $100K a year and immediately driving it off a cliff. Kind of. It's like leveraging your current existence pretty much to be able to purchase a Lambo that is like way outside of your purchasing power. And then driving it off a cliff.
I truly think that this is a sign of the times, right, Brett?
Well, I think what's really interesting about it is that there are two economies right now. There's the tech economy, and then there's the rest of the economy. And the rest of the economy, we're still suffering with labor shortages. There are not enough workers to fill the amount of positions that we have to fill. But in tech, what you're seeing is a massive cutback as their public market valuations decline. Pressure from investors are forcing them to cut back on costs. And this is what happens, that you see these mass layoffs happening both at Meta, at Twitter, but basically at every other big tech company out there. And I just think it's very interesting how you're just seeing two different worlds. And I think this is what a lot of analysts are hoping for, which is that the quote unquote recession that we may or may not be in is isolated to just the tech industry, while the broader economy stays immune to that.
Yeah, we shall see. There are a lot of people who feel that what's happening in tech is kind of a bellwether for what's to come for the broader economy. And as always, you and I will be keeping an eye on all of that. We're going to switch gears a little bit to a second story that, believe it or not, has been even more fast-moving than the Elon Twitter saga, to the point where it is giving me whiplash. So Binance is the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange. It expressed concern about its smaller rival, FTX, and announced it was selling the FTX token, which caused the equivalent of a bank run on it. And so FTX was in big trouble. Binance agreed to bail out a faltering FTX, but after looking at under the hood, decided it wouldn't be stepping in after all. And then on Friday, news that FTX is going to be filing for bankruptcy in the U.S. What is going on here, Brett? Make it make sense.
Well, it's a very complicated story, and as you mentioned, it's still kind of unfolding. So we don't have all the details available to us today. But you did a great job at explaining what happened on the bank run for FTX.
Thank you.
I can't stress how big of a deal this is. FTX is just one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world.
This is one of the funniest stories that I've ever fucking heard, and I don't know the exact details about this crypto shit, but like the only reason why I care about it is because the main guy is like famously a major Democratic Party donor, okay? Very, very strange, very weird dude, okay? CoffeeZilla made a video on it. Oh, you know what? Let's fucking watch that, actually. I want to watch that. I do want to watch that. Because from what I understand, there's like a sex cult. There is a sex cult involved in this. Like, I love watching crypto crash and burn, obviously. But bro went from 30 bill to 0 bill. Yeah, no, there is. You'd be a billionaire if you had shorted all the advertisers who spent at the Super Bowl, Meta, crypto, shit, Peloton, all in the toilet. Yep. Y'all, they were banging and very ugly. What they own part of Team Solo Mid, by the way, for the